You're at 109 right now.
Hey, good people, welcome to another iSee109 production. I'm sharing with you some messages that I saved on my phone between myself and Ahmad Maceo Eldridge Cleaver, who was Kathleen Cleaver and Eldridge Cleaver's son. And I think I'm gonna talk a little bit about him in another video, but I'll make it brief and just say I was impressed. I was always impressed with the Black Panthers, and anytime I learned about the Black Panthers, I was inspired by their example, and I was just really curious about the fact that my life intertwined, or I crossed paths with the children of Black Panthers. For instance, in elementary school, I went to school with one of the sons of a Black Panther. I mean, as a kid, that didn't resonate with me. It wasn't very significant. But as an adult, I thought back on that and I thought, man, that is so cool. And then as an adult, when I worked in Saudi Arabia, I worked alongside Maceo. Then one of my colleagues said, he's the son of a former Black Panther. And I was like, who? Eldridge Cleaver. And I was like, get the heck out of here. So that was cool. And then I befriended Maceo, and I told him, hey man, I know who your people are. I know your mother and your father. I know what significance they held for the culture, you know. And I told him it's not lost on me, brother. I know who you are, because he tried to play like the what is it, like he wasn't. I mean, he was a humble, you know, humble, pious man, and didn't bring a lot of attention to himself. But when I discovered who he was, I said, "Hey, man, I know who you are." So anyhow, it was a pleasure knowing him. As with many of his colleagues, acquaintances, we can attest to the fact that we communicated with Maceo through messages, and I have a phone full of messages between Maceo and myself. Again, he was a pious man, so oftentimes he would talk about Islam, and he's the author of Soul on Islam, right? So he was a very pious man, and I think it's Dawa, which is the proselytizing, proselytizing, in the uh, Islamic faith, and what else? So just a cool dude. So in addition to Islam, what I remember, he was a Panther to the core, and so he was pro gun rights. He was like, get your guns. You got to learn to shoot. You got to protect yourself. The Black Panthers were about self defense, so he was all about gun rights. He was all about martial arts, your physical upkeep, maintain your body so you can protect yourself. So he was pro martial arts. He was a Brazilian jiu-jitsu practitioner, and he loved the bees. These messages, in these messages, you'll hear he and I talk about bees and beekeeping and honey, because the bees are such a sophisticated civilization. You know, the bees, the ants. These are highly sophisticated civilizations. But it was the bees with Maceo. All right, so listen to these messages between he and I hope you enjoy this video. This is again an iSee109 production, and hopefully I'll make another video with Maceo. Peace.
You're at 109 right now.
Devi, Alhamdulillah, all praises to God. كل شيء بخير بالعافية والصحة طيب. Everything is well. I'm in good health, and all things are good. How's everything there in the Eastern Province? Just driving on my way to Jeddah to see a brother. Everything is good, alhamdulillah. All praises to God.
Okay. Good to hear. You're driving now. All right. Yeah, everything over here is it's the usual, except our days are longer. We're finishing at 3 p.m. now. Uh, the same contingent of gentlemen are holding on. The brothers, Big Mike, myself, Matthew, we're all still hanging around. Yep, things are pretty good. And we have the next 10 months or so to find out, if the company gets the contract again. So we're looking forward to that. And yeah, that's about it. So yesterday I began reading the autobiography of Malcolm X. It'll be my first time completing the book. I received a copy in middle school, and I never read it. I saw the movie, however, and I'm glad to know that the movie was very close to the book, very true to it. Anyhow, I'm catching up on my reading right now. I'm on chapter 5, continuing with what I started yesterday. I was in Los Angeles many months ago, maybe a year now or two, and I walked into a drugstore, and there was Atala Shabazz standing in line, and this was the second time I had ever encountered her. One time I was with my family, and she was leaving we were at the airport, and she was exiting the airplane, and my dad cried out, Atala! And he said, hey, girl. And she just smiled and kept walking and whatever. And then I see her in the convenience store, and I wanted to impress her and say, sister, you don't have to pay for your things. I'd be glad to pay for your things, but I didn't do it. So that's my little connection to the Shabazz family or whatnot. Just thought I would share that with you.
Most of his daughters, they seem pretty cute. I can't remember which one is Atala. I don't really think any of them are practicing Muslim ladies, but I think you should have gave it a shot and asked her if you can take the bill. I'm surprised she didn't respond more to your pops. He must have been quite her senior when he was yelling at her at the airport. Yeah, so I guess they live in California, huh? I heard something on one of these social media that they have some type of clothesline coming out. I don't know if it'll be any good. Maybe you'd like to invest with some of that Blue Force money you got.
So, Mr. B, man, this is very interesting information about this honey. I need to share this with my mom and dad and my sister. They'd love it. And you have to send me more information about your friend who's in the honey business, so we can get some of the best products shipped to those guys. Let me know. Yeah, and I'm ready to invest too. I'm looking for opportunities, so that's definitely a possibility.
Yeah, Muslim brother I knew in Riyadh was asking me how could he get some of this honey. As I was saying before, there is a brother who is in Riyadh and is very interested in buying some of the honey from the pure honey that a master beekeeper I know in Taif is selling. And so I asked him, how is that if someone's in Saudi and they're not in Taif, how can they buy some of your honey? So he told me that the person would send the money to his bank account and his address information, and he has a connection with a water delivery company, one of the water companies that brings water, big old water bottles to people's houses. So they will have the water company deliver the honey purchased from their branch in Taif, where they'll take it and have it delivered with like they deliver water. And you have to pay the delivery man whatever his fee is. and then before that, you transfer the money to his account, and there's a list. I think maybe I sent you, or if not, I'll send you the price list of his honey, and the stuff is pure, untouched, raw, natural honey in different types of honey. And he has about 1,500 beehives in the mountains of Taif, and the mountains of Hada and Shafa, and that immediate surrounding area. And he's the 6th generation of beekeepers. And he's traveled abroad and learned different techniques, different information, and about how to raise bees, even outside of his own tradition, inside from Europe and Germany and Russia and different countries. So, yeah, if you're interested, I can get his bank information, and I'll send you the list of the different honeys that he has, and has their prices listed. And they sell it by kilo, and whatever measurement from that. Barakallah fi. And I hope this is clear what I'm saying. Any questions, let me know.
Yes, it's very clear. I was hoping to, ship that to my folks or get them involved too, but it sounds like I guess I would have to do that myself once I receive it. Anywho, sounds good. I'm interested, and yeah, I'm willing to try some honey a day as a new dietary supplement. Yeah.
Yes, in fact, there's many bee colonies in Ethiopia, and they have quite a nice business there, selling bee honey, especially to Sudanese, and other people come to Ethiopia to buy it. So yes, it is a potential. It is a very green country, very fertile. Even it's high elevation, much of it, so there's a lot of rain. So there will be a lot of forage for the bees. It is ripe for that. Now you have to look at what are the government regulations, and can you export honey from there, and the other bee products. And you have to look at the other bee products, because honey is one of them. But there are many other bee products that many of the African beekeepers are not busy on themselves, or they don't have a lot of information on how to extract. But there are lots of other bee products that are quite profitable from bees, that if someone has a large number of colonies, they can benefit from them. And then you should investigate about probably government farms that are interested in paying for pollination services from bees, if that is much available, if they have that information with the large farming commercial businesses there. And that's what I would think about Barakallah.
Good morning, Brother Cleaver. It sounds like I have a lot of research to do. Heads up, I am in Ethiopia, Addis Ababa at the moment, and I'm currently reading Jamal Joseph's book, Panther Baby. I forgot which chapter I'm on. Anyhow, I received a message from another brother who I met a year ago, Ethiopian brother who purchased some land recently. So he's looking for profitable ventures, and he mentioned a bee colony as one of them. And being that you are more inclined to the bees than I am, I sent that message to you. Yeah, like I said, I got some research to do, so I'll message you later. Have a great day. Peace.
Yeah, enjoy your stay over there and do some research. I don't know, I could probably find online some beekeepers in Ethiopia, with the different bee groups I'm in. They might be a good contact for you for more information since you're there. So I'll try to do that when I get a chance. I'm driving now. And enjoy over there. Enjoy the spicy food. And yeah, it's potential. It's a potential business there. It's depending on how much, leeway they can give you, how much you have to pay for doing a business in a foreign country, and how much you have to pay for extracting those bee products. Because what money you can make in Ethiopia selling bee products, which is honey and bee pollen and propolis, or what they call bee resin, and royal jelly and bee wax, what you can make there selling those things is minimal. If it wouldn't be worth an investment. But what you can make selling those products in America or abroad, even in Saudi Arabia, is very different. It's a whole big, more profit gaining scheme. Okay, take care. Enjoy. The white honey usually is just crystallized. After it reaches a certain coolness, the honey crystallizes naturally. Just prove that it's also good honey and pure and not mixed with other things. It's not necessarily bad honey or proof that it's sugar. That's not accurate. That is, someone talking about what they think, and they're not really, so versed in the production of honey. It's just crystallized. If it's natural honey, like most of the Ethiopian honeys are, then it's just crystallized. It means it's reached a temperature of coolness that caused the honey to begin to solidify, to crystallize. It's a natural process. All you have to do is warm it with water, like put the honey in a tin or in a pot or something, and put that pot inside of another pot that has hot water. And you don't want to have boiling water. You never want to boil honey. If you cook honey to a point of boiling, it loses all its natural medicinal ingredients and properties. So you just want to warm it enough until it reaches a temperature, higher than when it started to crystallize, which means to solidify. That's all that happens to honey. It doesn't mean that sugar has been added to it or anything like that. It just means it's natural honey, because the honey that's been processed and mixed with sugars and other chemicals and other ingredients does not crystallize, because it's not honey. It's honey mixed with other things. Okay? And you mentioned about there being a dead bee. It's not actually 100% proof that it's natural honey, that there's dead bees in it. Most of the Ethiopian honeys are natural because they don't have a lot of money to mix different things into the honey to try to lengthen it, and they have, a good product. But having dead bees in your honey is not proof of that's natural. It's just proof that the production of the honey wasn't so exact, wasn't so careful, wasn't so meticulous to get out the dead bees or anything else in them. You can find lots of other natural honeys where the producers or the makers and the people collecting the honey are meticulous, so they take out the dead bees. They strain them out.
Well, I think I discovered what I'm going to do with this honey. There's a YouTube video where a woman is describing making, well, what is known as Ethiopian tej, and she referred to it as mead. So, honey wine it is. Although she only mentioned that it's just the ingredients are water and honey, and that's it. That's fascinating in and of itself. I thought maybe some yeast would be added, but no. So I guess that's my next adventure or project.
Yes, I'm Muslim. I'm not involved with such productions, but obviously people do make that type of liquid from honey. It has to fermentate, so it has to sit for some time. I don't know any of those details. How long has to sit? What temperature it should sit at? It should be inside or outside. I really don't know how they go about making that thing. But not only in Ethiopia, even in America, many beekeepers who are not Muslim are very enthused about having honey sit until they can drink it and get drunk. But I don't know the details, as I said.